A San Angelo woman was trapped by rising floodwaters, and her only lifeline was a tree. She held on to that tree for over an hour until help finally arrived. I'm Kayla Hamlet reporting in San Angelo, and at KTXS News, we spoke with the brave survivor as she shares her journey to safety during some of the devastating Texas floods. Take a look at this drone footage. It captures the moment a San Angelo teacher grips the tree outside her home for dear life, just seconds before her dramatic rescue.
It was just so crazy because I told my aunt, like, I'm gonna have to let go. My whole body hurts so bad just from holding on. And I was like, I can't hold on much longer, like I'm gonna die. And she was saying, you're not gonna die, like don't let go. And so that was, you know, one of the reasons I think I could hold on for so long, which was crazy. And yeah, it was such a weird moment. I don't remember some of it. I think I blocked it out. I just know I was screaming, and I know I was saying like, Lord, please save me. Like, this is, sorry. You know.
Early on July 4th, flash floods slammed San Angelo, trapping elementary school teacher Kyla Constancio inside her home. What started as a water sensor alert in her basement turned into a fight for survival.
My security system had detected a leak in my house, and so they called me and I just kind of ignored it. And it called my second contact, which was my aunt. And so she kind of was more worried than me and just said, you know, maybe go check it.
Things took a turn quick. Water surged past her waist and appliances floated everywhere. She panicked until her aunt's calm but urgent voice broke through the chaos saying, you have to get out.
So when it's at my waist, you know, at that point, my fridge is floating in my house. My couch is floating in my house. Everything is floating. So then I kind of start panicking, and 911 is still telling me to stay inside on my countertops. So when it finally got to my chest is the point where panic, you know, ensued. I was thinking, I have to get out. My aunt told me, you have to get out.
Thanks to her uncle's expert navigation and a local boater's quick action, they found Kyla clinging to the tree.
So they just grabbed my arms and my legs and just threw me on. And now we were stuck with the boat between the gate, and the current was so strong. So it took us probably 10 minutes to get out and get to safety, just because the boat couldn't even pull through the current.
Kyla says she'll forever be grateful to her aunt and uncle and the neighbors whose courage came just when she needed it most.
My uncle is my hero, and he did save me, and my aunt, you know, I wouldn't have survived without them.
Kyla is one brave survivor, and she's grateful to be alive and with family. Her story is just one of many as Texas communities face the impact of some of these devastating Texas floods.
I'm Copeland Welch here in San Angelo, and what you see right behind me is the home the Rodriguez family was sleeping in when floodwaters began to rise.
There's so much we lost, but I would lose everything again, meaning that we have our lives, meaning that my son is still here. Because that's the one thing I did not want to go. I was willing to stay here for hours as long as my son was out of this damn water. That's all I wanted out.
John Ramirez says he felt pure terror during the flood on the 4th of July, but he had a lifeline.
Walking towards this way, this fence was already falling underwater, and I was tripping over everything, trying to stay up because everything was picking up. See this fallen one? This is the sucker that saved my life right here. So early in the morning, it's very dark. So whenever I first came, I was holding it like this, and I had him up here on top of my shoulder. And I felt too much force, and a bunch of things were flying this way, and I didn't want to get taken by objects. I'm talking like, I seen that, what is that, a washer, dryer?
While Ramirez and his son were clinging to the pole, just downstream, his grandmother was also in fear of being taken by the current.
And the furniture was hitting her underneath the water. She's bruised throughout her body. Yeah, she's hurting, pain. She was underwater for 3 hours.
This is my childhood spot. I grew up here. We grew up here. We always played in that water over there. We always played in that water as kids. From me, my older brother, my older cousin, all the way to my little siblings. We've all played in that water. It's never gotten this bad. We always came here for shelter. Anytime it was tornado warnings, heavy winds, thunderstorms, we always came here. And I never thought something like this would happen. It's the craziest thing ever.
So many families are facing complete and utter loss.
Yeah, sola. She says she feels empty and alone because she was left with nothing.
Nomás lo que tenía puesto.
Just what she had on that night.
Y un zapato nomás.
And one shoe.
Now, while the family's belongings are scattered across the yard, they say the most important part is that everyone is safe.
I'm Brenna Gibbons. Severe floods hit San Angelo over 4th of July weekend that damaged many homes and buildings. We spoke with one resident who runs a small business out of her home that was damaged by these floods.
Steve got up to check on our son, and when he got out of the bed and stepped into water, he's like, "David, get up. We have a leak." He opened the door and water just came gushing in, and then we could see it just a river down our street. Almost every house was flooded.
Dava Rab is the owner of Ranch and Famous Boutique, a small business that she has been running for the past 12 years out of her home.
There is so much damage. I lost almost everything Ranch and Famous. I had all my new inventory in the living room, and boxes were just floating. They ended up in the bedrooms, everywhere. It was just awful.
Rab says the damage to her home and business is just a nightmare.
I'm devastated. I mean, I love what I've started, and it's grown really big.
Rab told us her home is currently unlivable, and she's not sure what they're going to do in order to fix everything that was destroyed.
We honestly don't know. We're maneuvering this all by ourselves. I mean, people keep sending us paperwork to fill out, but there's no guidelines. You know, if you don't have insurance, if you do have insurance, and they've said go to churches. Well, we went out there. We don't need food and water. We're living with my parents. We need money to get this house livable again.
Despite the challenges, Rab is continuing to keep Ranch and Famous open.
I am working it the best I can from my phone. I'm taking pre-orders for merchandise that will come from another warehouse so that none of it's affected by the flood.
It wasn't just Rab that was impacted by the flooding. Many parts of San Angelo and Texas were hit by storms that caused severe floods.
We're both praying for all the people who lost lives. I know it doesn't compare to what we're going through. And we just send our love and prayers to everyone. Our neighbors, I mean, they're dealing with the same things we're dealing with. The whole town, I mean, just a nightmare.
For more information about Ranch and Famous, or for ways you can help people affected by these floods, visit our website at KTXS.com.
I'm Tori Garcia. After severe flooding swept through the San Angelo area this past weekend, the city says it's now in the recovery phase. Damage, like the ones you see behind me, are being assessed, and the city is now looking to see what comes next.
I think for everybody it was a total shock, and so to see this devastation and the amount of rain that we had has just been heartbreaking for our community.
The city is leading damage assessment efforts through a state form known as an ISTAT, a crucial step for residents hoping to get government assistance.
We're asking all the people in those affected areas to fill out the ISTAT form, which is through the state of Texas, and it's a damage assessment. And so we have volunteers on the north side of town today that are going door to door, and they're helping people input these forms.
The city says more than 800 forms have been submitted as of Wednesday morning, which helps create a clearer picture of the damage for agencies.
My understanding is it takes about 5-10 minutes, and you basically get your location, you enter your information, you take some photos of the damage so you can document that, and then you submit it to the Texas Division of Emergency Management. And so they're able to look and get a big, wide picture of the community and where all the issues are, and then that's what they would submit to the federal government for possible assistance.
In the meantime, debris pickup is being organized, with pickup to begin July 21st. Residents are asked to sort their debris properly to speed up the process.
In order for it to be picked up, it has to be sorted properly, and we've got all that information on our website at sanangelo.gov/July 4. And so it's just a matter of We're making sure we're going through the right processes. It may seem slow, but there's a reason why we're doing all these things.
The city is also coordinating with nonprofits, churches, and volunteer groups to make sure relief is organized.
We have our disaster resource center that's at Paul Ann, where the affected people can go and they can get help and get shelter vouchers and supplies and things like that. And so really between the city and the county and all the nonprofits and the churches, it's just been one big community effort to try to help as much as we can.
For those without flood insurance, officials say filling out the ISTAT and an intake form with the San Angelo Area Foundation could open the door to donation-based relief.
Obviously that's not going to replace insurance or be in place of insurance, but that is important when it comes to assistance from the government. We also encourage them to give their information to them as well, so that way that we can all have a good database of what's going on and what's happened.
And while the road to recovery may be long, city leaders say they're committed to walking it with their community.
We're still in a go mode where we're just trying to help as many people as we can.
For information on ways to donate to these damaged areas, visit our website at KTXS.com.
I'm Caitlin Leggett in San Angelo, where the community has come together as recovery efforts are underway after a scary weekend of flooding.
And part of what we do is we try to respond to disasters when they occur.
July 4th weekend brought record-breaking flooding to the San Angelo area, causing damage to homes, roads, and infrastructure across the Concho Valley. Now, nonprofits and churches are stepping in to help families whose lives have been turned upside down.
We're dispatching a 16-foot box truck full of supplies down to San Angelo to assist with recovery efforts down there after the recent flooding that went through the Concho Valley.
KTXS spoke with the executive director of the Global Samaritan Abilene, Andrew Kelly, Tuesday morning as they were headed to San Angelo to provide aid. The supplies included essentials like clothes, cleaning products, non-perishable food, and hygiene kits. Global Samaritan says the need is enormous.
San Angelo has over 12,000 homes that have been flooded out. Self-reporting in San Angelo, there's almost 600 people that have reported that their houses are severely damaged.
KTXS followed up on the ground in San Angelo with Rush Street Ministries, a faith-based organization in relation to the Johnson Street Church of Christ, who are taking donations from Global Samaritan and more to distribute to the affected community at no charge. Director David Ingram Jr. is from Abilene and was grateful from the help coming from his hometown.
Rush Street's tagline is neighbors helping neighbors, and so all of us at some point are going to be a neighbor in need. So it just thrills our hearts. It fills us with that sense of a loving community, and helps us, it encourages us, motivates us to do the best that we can every day.
Volunteers, donors, and local leaders say the road to recovery will be long, but organizations are prepared. Rush Street is accepting and distributing donations and will be all year long as a part of their everyday mission. They are currently in need of.
We are very short on diapers and wipes, and if folks could bring those to us, that would help us out a whole lot.
People's belongings sitting on the curb like this is a common sight across San Angelo after the destructive flood on the 4th of July. I'm Copeland Welch, and I talked to a mold expert who shared tips on what should and shouldn't be salvaged.
Mattresses are out the door. You do not want to try to salvage a mattress, even if it's just wet from regular water. It's almost impossible to dry.
People's entire lives are sitting on their curbs, but Clark Bowles says it only takes a day for bacteria to start growing.
You know, clothing, articles of clothing, it's not recommended that you keep any. Of course, it's the homeowner's decision, their responsibility if they do keep it, but you know, we don't recommend it, neither does the industry. By the industry standard, that's considered category 3 black water, the same as toilet water.
So what is it that makes floodwater so dangerous? Well, Bowles says it can be a number of things.
Industrial runoff, you have, you may have an animal using the restroom in the yard, you may have somebody spraying pesticide over here, you may have, it's tons of toxins, biohazardous material. You don't know what's in floodwater.
The floods across Texas have left people's homes in ruins, digging through debris to find their keepsakes that money can't replace. But it may not be worth it.
Sentimentals, they will always hold a place in your heart and in your mind, but it's not worth risking your health.
If your home has been flooded, Bowles says the restoration process can sometimes take 3 to 5 days and come with a hefty price tag.
I mean, it could be anywhere from, $1,500 to a full payout on an insurance policy hold $300,000 in some scenarios.
If you have questions about what you should keep or what you should do next, Bowles says don't be afraid to consult local resources.